Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into how to prepare for Walmart's senior data scientist interview. And this is one of the role that has been tracking a lot of traction lately. Many of you have reached out to me on LinkedIn asking for a deeper breakdown of this article that I have written earlier. And many of you have been asking about to include some of the topics to focus on and how to get interview ready, more things on the same thing, because this article was written on one person's experience based. So what all should we focus on, all those things. So in this video I'll walk you through all those things, all those aspects step by step. So let's start. And as I told, this article is written based on my friend's experience. So he recently gave this interview, and then based on what all questions were asked to him, I wrote it down in a form of article. Let's cover round number one. Duration is 1 hour. So most of the interview rounds nowadays, which are related to data science, has this duration of 1 hour. In the mail, it was mentioned that the focus area for your round will be Python coding, machine learning, breadth, statistical thinking. So one thing, like in the first round, if it is mentioned machine learning breadth, so maybe in the second round it could be machine learning depth, and there could be deep learning, advanced machine learning, and then the way logical thinking is always common to most of the interview rounds. But the main part which separates it from the other round is the Python coding. So major part and major focus goes on the coding part. So let's start. On the section number one, so what happened in the first 15 minutes to my friend is that understanding the candidate's experience. So the question which was given to my friend was, tell me what you do at your job and explain a recent project you did. The aim of this kind of question always is to take some of the keywords from the candidate who is appearing for the interview. If I am going and giving my interview, the person wants me to tell a project, something, my role, my project in a detail, so that the keywords that I use for the data science related domain, those keywords can be added on as a follow-up question. So that is the way how we start the interview. So the aim here is to come up with something that you have built recently or maybe in the past, where you are more skilled, where you have more strength. Those projects, collect those projects, and you have to answer on those. So, this is a very brief explanation of what my friend told, but this might not be relevant for everyone. How to answer this kind of question is my friend also followed the same way to explain these two projects using a star-based approach. Now, what is star-based approach? I'll explain. S- Uh, let's say this is the same question that has been asked to you. Tell me what do you do at your current job and explain a recent project you did. Now, what I mean by star-based approach is situation, task, action, and result. So you need to break your project in a way. This is something we need to do handy before the interview. We need to be prepared. This kind of alignment of our project so that when we are explaining the project, it actually makes an impact that we are trying to make. For that, first of all, what is the situation? Situation is what was the problem statement that was in hand? What was a task that was expected to me to do in order to solve that problem statement? Action, what actually I did, it could be a bit different from the task that was aligned, and the result it came out at the last. So, for example, there is a project called forecasting product demand in a retail supply chain. Now, this could be one of the projects that, let's say, I was supposed to explain this project because it was there in my CV. Forecasting product demand in retail supply chain. Now, first of all, to my interview, I will explain what is the situation, like what is the problem in hand. The problem in hand is our client, a major retail chain, was struggling with inventory mismatches, frequent overstocking in some regions, and stock out in other region, especially during promotions. So the problem in hand is that some of the regions are getting overstocked and some of the regions are getting understocked. How can I bring a balance? That is a problem statement. Now, task, I was tasked with designing a demand forecasting system that could predict product level sales 4 weeks ahead with regional granularity. So, regional granularity in the same way that it should not be overstocked in one region and should not be understocked in the other region. So, all those kind of predictions I have to make. So, this is the task in hand. The action I did, I built a multi-level time series forecasting pipeline using Facebook profile XGBoost regressor. So here you can mention your own algorithms you use, what all things you have tried out. This will be the major part where you are explaining your project in detail. Enriched with external features. So what features you use, how did you do feature engineering, feature selection, and all those stuff, all the learning language you can use here. I also implemented a weighted error metric. So how did I measure what are the metrics I use for my ML model and all those things. I demand SQS and created a dashboard for. So I also use a dashboard. So kind of I'm using some front end part, some UI part to explain for business users to visualize prediction and error. And at last, what happened is the model reduced region stockouts by 28% and overstock issue by 22%. It became the basis for their automated replenishment logic and was adopted across 3 regions in less than 2 months. So now you can see this is one way how we can explain our project. So now we might have written a lot of projects in our resume, or maybe some projects in our resume. Our task before appearing for any interview is to segregate a project in this STAR format. If we are able to explain our project in this format, it makes a really big impact. And now the follow-ups could be mostly on the action part of it. So you have mentioned that you have used XGBoost regressor. Can you explain me what is XGBoost regressor? Then you have mentioned weighted error metric. What are other metrics which could be used here? Do you know any other observability metrics? All those kind of question can come up. Then result is something where the higher level people like manager level, those are interested because our problem at the end should be solving some of the business problem. So if yes, then the result is something which should be aligned to that. Coming back, so this was the section one where the starting tone of the interview was set. The project was asked, some of the keywords were taken out, and okay, my interview has understood that I have worked on some of the projects which has this and this particular things. Follow up was the section number 2. Here, if you see the first question, this is mostly on core concepts in machine learning and statistics. So here, the first question is, what does propensity mean in business and ML code? Now, this is a follow up question of the propensity modeling in insurance that my friend has answered in the previous section. Similarly, whatever you will be explaining here, the follow ups will be in the section 2, which is like a part 2 of your own interview. And then he's asking what is mode, what is ROC, AUC, thresholding, etc. So here we need to prepare everything that we are going to tell in our first part. So if I am telling anything here, the follow-ups will be related to this part only. And something else which is related to this part. So for example, SMOT is there, so they can even ask you parameters of model that you have used. What is feature engineering? What are the steps you have done in that? While feature selection, what all did you discard and why? All those kind of questions can come up. And then the algorithms. And one of the insightful discussions centered around this nuance question: if model A has a higher ROC AUC than model B, does it outperform B at every threshold? So this was one of the direct question that he asked. Similar questions for your case could be like, if precision of model A is better than precision of model B, then does that mean model A is better than model B? And there could be other similar see, this part is follow up on the metric part, so most of the questions are on the metric part, but the follow up can even be on the model part. Which model did you use? Why did you use the decision tree? Why did you use random forest? Which one is better? Comparison between all those. So anything related to ML breadth will be covered here. So we can directly see from here that once the candidate explained his two problems, yeah, the interviewer was more interested in the metric part of it. So the follow-ups were mostly on the metric, but it is not always compulsory that that the next part will be your metric only. It can be anything which the interviewer wanted to ask based on your previous questions. So these are the two sections which was asked on the ML side of it. Then comes this third part, which is our Python coding, which was one of the major part of this interview. So it is going to have more weightage than the ML breadth part of it. So here, the question that the interviewer asks is building a simple decision tree. So from scratch. So these are some of the questions that any of the senior roles are is expecting you to know. Now, the hands-on section involved writing Python code to simulate a basic Titanic dataset using decision tree single level split. So here, the candidate, my friend started with single level split. And what he does is, in the first part, he creates a toy data set with age, gender, boarding class, number of family members in the family, then implemented a brute force using binary split based on maximizing correct classification and printing the accuracy metric. So these are the three parts that he has first explained in pseudocode format, and then he had some part of it he wrote in the coding part. So this is sample logic that I have written. He has written some other code which he showed me. Based on that, I have written this part. Now, once he wrote this part, the follow-up was to stretch, means to he the interviewer asked, "Can you give me two-level split?" And he wanted to know, can the is that something that candidate can actually do? So yeah, he tried some recursive partitioning, and then there were some discussions on the same, like how did you do that? And there was some follow-up question on the same. So it is like it took around half an hour for the candidate to complete that coding part. And at last there were some challenges, and how will you measure all those things? So for this part, this is just a decision tree, but here could be any other problem. So we need to prepare all these problems beforehand before going to any senior data scientist interview for any of the companies. So the questions that I have collected for you to prepare is, first is linear regression from scratch. So this is one of the questions, linear regression from scratch, which is asked in many of the companies, five of the bigger companies like Google, Amazon, and Walmart. In the earlier Walmart, it is as Swiggy data scientist second, and one more company I'm not able to recall as of now. Linear regression from scratch is very important. Any of the company anytime can ask you to write a code from scratch where you can use your gradient descent algorithm to write linear regression from scratch. It could also be logistic regression from scratch, which is just it is very much similar to linear regression. You have to apply sigmoid function on top of it. Then decision tree, as we have seen that in Walmart, it is asked. It can be asked in other companies also. So if you are preparing for this kind of interview, decision tree is very important. XGBoost from scratch. So if you have written in your resume that I have well versed with XGBoost, I have used XGBoost, then they might expect you to know the algorithm, and might expect you to write from scratch. Not from scratch, then can you use some libraries, I guess, sklearn and import, and can you implement XGBoost? So either of the two, XGBoost is also important. Neural network from scratch. This is very important. Google has asked, and other any of the new OpenAI related companies which are using a lot of LLMs these days, and mostly OpenAI model are being used. Those companies expect you to write neural network from scratch in interview round. So I have also in my one of the interviews I have written in neural network from scratch for one layer, and they can even ask you to write it for two layers. So you need to understand what bias is, what weights is, what activation function you will be using, and why. And you need to learn those formulas, how to actually start from layer number one, go to the last, and then back propagation. So it needs some practice beforehand. We cannot write on the spot without knowing this algorithm. So it's better to prepare from hand. Now, K means clustering from scratch. This is not important, but it is one of the problems that is out of learning, supervised machine learning problem. So it is unsupervised. So here it's important to know the key concept, because maybe some of the company may ask. This is an important part of it, because it is on the unsupervised side. So are we prepared? So when you are preparing yourself, this is the six problems that you must know to be prepared for any coding round, which is related to writing code from scratch. Coming back to our section number 3. So yeah, this was the code which was asked, and then complete. So key takeaways from this round was concept clarity matters. So you should be knowing all the ML concepts. It could be everything related to ML you have done. Revise everything thoroughly, all the algorithms, all the parameters, everything, metrics. Then real projects, strong signals. So whatever project you have done, try to understand everything. Try to understand all the whys. Why have you implemented this? Why not something else? Why have you used ChromaDB over FIS? All those kind of question may be asked as a follow up on your explanation of your project. And this is where we have to stand out using our real projects that we have done. Also, the business aspects of it, like what profit it brought into picture. Then code beyond syntax. We need to come up with our code, and should be Not only perfection in the code, we need to know exact pseudocode, like exact algorithm, what we are writing. Don't fear the follow-ups. So yeah, they may ask you follow-ups, so you should be prepared. Like end-to-end preparation of ML pipeline is something which should be done before appearing for these kind of interviews. So this is all. To summarize, Walmart is looking for business-driven data scientists who can write code, who can explain ML, and who can think in structural ways. So if you are aiming for this role, I would um, I will recommend you to focus on real-world application of ML. Be transparent in your thought process and do not panic on question you can't fully solve. Like there could be some questions that you won't be able to solve fully. You need to show you are curious to learn rather than showing your perfection. And yeah, this is all about preparing for it. You can refer to any other articles I have written. Let me know in the comments if you like this video. I will be sharing more breakdowns of other different roles that I have been knowing about from different people. And give this video a thumbs up if it helped, and subscribe to get more of such kind of content. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious. All the best.